Good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for May 14, 2024. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all directives regarding remote proceedings. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. I'll go ahead and call the cases, Mr. Nunez. Calling cause numbers 2024 0D00012, 2024 0D00013, and 2023 0D01377, all cases styled State of Texas versus Osvaldo. We have announcements, please.
Ada Winnery for the State of Texas, present ready, Your Honor.
Rick Hoffman on behalf of Mr. Mendez, we're ready here.
And is that your client appearing from the jail annex, Mr. Huffman?
Yes, Judge.
I have Mr. Mendez, his 012 case is at 50,000. 013 is at 10,000, and he has no bond on the probation case, the 2023 case. You may proceed with your bond hearing.
And Your Honor, that is the information that I have as well on his bonds. He's been in custody for 146 days. And just a little background, Your Honor. Mr. Mendez is 23 years old. He's a United States citizen, born and raised in El Paso, Texas. His mother lives here. His aunt lives here. He has a lot of family ties to El Paso. Basically, all his ties are in El Paso. He's worked at a number of different jobs. For example, he's been a construction worker. He's been a warehouse worker. He's worked at restaurants. Judge, if released, he would immediately try to find employment. And he was thinking possibly at a restaurant type job. Judge, I've asked the complaining witness, Miss Precious Ochoa, to be here. She's in my office right now, and she's right here, Your Honor. Basically, she's the complaining witness in the probation case.
Okay, so you moved your camera and there wasn't anybody.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Are you on the camera?
I think so. I don't know.
Judge, were you able to see her, Judge?
There's a female in your office. She is the alleged complaining witness in his underlying probation case, he is alleged to assault 2 weeks after he pleads in my court.
She is the Miss Precious Ochoa, the complaining witness on the probation case. She's the complaining witness on the two new cases as well. Judge, Miss Precious Ochoa and Mr. Mendez, they've known each other since my client was 11 years old. And recently, Judge, they've gotten a marriage license. They very much want a future together. Miss Ochoa is here in my office because she is asking the court to give her fiance.
Are you calling her as a witness?
Judge, I'd rather do it by proffer at this point. If I may, Judge.
You may.
Okay. She's asking this court to allow Mr. Mendez another opportunity to show the court that he would be a good probationer and that and she wants a future with him. She has a child, an 8-year-old child, and who gets along very well with my client. Judge, the address that they live in is on Spanish Point here in El Paso. An alternative address, Judge, if the court does not feel comfortable with Mr. Mendez living with Miss Ochoa, Mr. Mendez could live with his mom. And that address is 3624 Cottonwood. That is also in El Paso.
Is she a complainant? Is mom a complainant in any of his offenses?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Mendez also has an aunt here and uncles. The uncles work construction type jobs. They also are there for Mr. Mendez, and they want to support him as well. Basically, Mr. Mendez and Miss Ochoa, they've been dating for about a year. Okay, Your Honor, and then they got engaged. They go to church together. And that is kind of where the relationship grew and got strong. Mr. Mendez, Judge, for his probation case, this past case, the case he's on probation for, he never missed court. He was out on bond, and he basically appeared at all the court dates, and he promises to appear at all future court dates. Your Honor, I think Mr. Mendez would benefit from probation and the programs that probation offers.
Has he ever been successful at probation? I'm looking at a 15-page rap.
So Judge, I was looking at that. He's 23 years old, so he was put on probation in 2018. So I think that would have made him 17. So he was on probation at one point for a misdemeanor assault. I don't know what happened there.
I'll tell you, because the PSR tells me that.
Well, I do know what the probation violations were. He absconded right away. Okay, and I'll be candid with the court. He was 17 years old. That's the only time he's ever been on probation. I think Mr. Mendez would benefit from a domestic violence caseload, the BIP counseling, as well as possible anger management, those type issues. Judge, and possible mental health caseload as well. I certainly am hoping the court will give Mr. Mendez a chance to show the court that he is rehabilitatable.
He's been through every court on this floor. He was in the 41st on some domestic violence assault. This is just in his adult history, okay? And then he had a robbery dismissed in the 205th. He comes in here and pleads to a first-degree felony deferred, and then picks up 2 new felonies within 2 weeks of being placed on probation. Was never successful in any other kind of supervision context. That's what his PSR tells me.
And that's accurate, Judge. Like I said, the only time he's been on probation is from what I understand is when he was 17 years old for that misdemeanor assault, and he never really got to get started. So I don't think he's actually been able to benefit from the programs that the probation offers. And myself, as well as Miss Ochoa, we're hoping that he gets that opportunity, Judge. The family, Your Honor, between all of them, have about $2,000 to go towards a bond. He's on deferred right now. We're asking this court to reduce the bond to an amount that Mr. Mendez could afford, and so that he can have an opportunity to prove to this court that he will be successful.
Who was the complainant in the misdemeanor? Well, it was out of the 41st, or I'm sorry, is it county criminal number 1?
The 2018 case, Judge, I think that was the mother of his child.
So this is going to be the new one, right? I've got two cases against her now. All right.
3, Judge, the probation case, and then the 2 new allegations.
I know, but I'm trying to keep track of all the complainants. That's what I'm trying to keep track of. And so in cause number 2018-0C02798, I'll just look it up. Because he didn't successfully complete probation there. So I want to see what happened there. Dismissed. That's not him. 2023, 2018. Well, he was revoked. Let's see. Family violence. Valentina Martinez, that's the other mother of his child. Is that right?
That is the one mother of his child. Miss Ochoa and Mr. Mendez do not have children together, but that is the mother of his
But
one.
they want to get married.
They do.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Winery.
Your Honor, the state finds itself in a position where we usually find ourselves, where we have to protect people who either don't realize that they need to be protected or are unwilling to seek the help that they need. The fact that he held his new girlfriend slash fiance and her 8-year-old daughter at knife point, and she had to call family members to get them to call the police, and she was sending text messages to the family members saying that she was scared and that she needed help, and that at one point, you know, she told them to break down the door because that's how afraid she was. He's definitely a threat to her, and if she doesn't feel that he's a threat to her, he's definitely a threat to her 8-year-old daughter. So without even really having to go into his criminal history, which is very long and extensive for someone as young as he is, the state would ask that the current bond remain as it is, and that that would serve as a protection for the 8-year-old daughter and for the rest of the community.
Anything else, Mr. Huffman?
No, Your Honor.
So he's been to TDC.
Yes, Judge. He did 4 years TDC for a 2019 aggravated assault. I'm sorry, it was a burglary, Judge, with the intent to commit theft. I don't know who the complaining witness was on that case, but he did 4 years. There was no probation in that case.
So I have a first-degree felony. Okay, so your request to reduce bond on the 2024 cases are denied. In cause number 2023-0D01377, he's entitled to a bond. He's on deferred for a first-degree felony. His bond is $200,000. He is going to have a $5,000 PR component to that. He is to have no contact with the complainant or the child. In this case, I mean zero. I mean no phone calls. He's in jail, nothing. If he is released, if he posts bond, he's going to report every week to PR bond. He is not to be within 200 yards of the complainant, the child, the complainant's residence, the complainant's place of business, no direct or indirect contact, well, you shouldn't be possessing weapons, but possess no weapons or ammo, curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. unless he is working. Subject to testing, use no illegal drug or alcohol. Anything else?
Not from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you very much. Who's next?
Downtown,
I have Mr. Versosa.
Versosa, Mr. Shola.
Good afternoon.
Page 19.
I'll go ahead and call it. Calling cause number 2024-0D01382, State of Texas versus Jacob Anthony Versosa. May I have announcements, please?
Ada Renee for the state of Texas, present, ready, Your Honor.
Alex Shawala for Mr. Versosa. We're ready, and I do recognize my client there.
Thank you, Mr. Shawala. He is appearing from the downtown jail. We are scheduled for a bond hearing. I did review this. case along with his PSR. It looks like he is at $100,000 cash surety bond for a PR revo. He picked up an alleged criminal mischief. And I did review the 1622 information. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. It's a really unfortunate situation we have here. Mr. Versosa posted bond on April 5th. And this is something that we discussed at length with the jail magistrate court. He was supposed to be receiving services and to reside at the rescue mission because he had no place to stay. Some wires got crossed there on his release, and the rescue mission did not have any paperwork on him. And as you know, they're receiving a huge number of migrants right now, so they did not have space for him when he was released. So he was essentially dropped off on the sidewalk outside the rescue mission, not taken in, and he was left on the street with no medication. And so they told him, come back in a few days. Before he was able to do that, he, had some deterioration, a bit of a mental health break. The criminal mischief, Judge, is he was found in a public park digging up a plant, allegedly digging up a plant. The officers told him, well, why are you doing this? He said, I've lost a family heirloom. I do anything to find it. It's got to be under here. Clearly, not in his right mind. I will say, Judge, the new offense is at best a Class C misdemeanor. The plant that he dug up was small, appears to have been dead if you look at the photos, and it's a small hole. I mean, something you could fill in with a shovel by hand in about a minute. So the fact that they claim it's $750 damage, I mean, that was the cop making the estimate. $750 is exactly what you need to make it a B instead of a C. It's not plausible. So I think we have a ticket here, but more importantly, I think what we did is we set him up for failure. So what I'm asking, Judge, is that he be given a chance to do this right, and that we make sure, and I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to help with this, to make sure that he is released to a place that can actually, take him in and all that's set up correctly so that he can have a place to stay and have medication and the things he needs. And so that's kind of what we're asking for here. It's just an unfortunate situation he's found himself in, Judge.
Has he been med compliant while he's been in custody?
To my knowledge, yes. I don't know if you had
I was
anyone else on the
asking,
Zoom that you were asking.
No, I was asking you. Let me hear from the state and then we'll get back to some of the questions I have.
Your Honor, the state's position is that, it may have been criminal mischief over a plant, but it was probably for the best for the community, because he would have just disappeared because he was released to a halfway house under some pretty serious allegations: assault, family violence, household member, previous conviction, ag assault, deadly weapon, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, not to mention that he has a plethora of felony convictions. So perhaps it was divine intervention that he was found digging up that plant, at least for the community, from the community caretaking point of view. The state will defer to the court about whether or not you will adjust the bond, but I think it was a good thing that he was found.
Okay, Mr. Schwala, anything else?
Well, Judge, just to respond, because Ms. Faneri has brought up the allegations here. The allegations are serious, but the evidence is not serious. I mean, supposedly he threatened someone with a gun. The gun was never found, right? And it was there. He was taken into custody at the residence where it all happened, and no gun was ever located. As to the assault, no visible injuries. So there's a dispute with someone who, the argument was because she had stolen from him, is his contention. And so I think it throws that, and the lack of evidence kind of throws the allegations into some discredit to begin with. But ultimately, Judge, these issues were all hashed out in the original bond hearing. The jail magistrate saw fit to give him that chance to be out, but then we prevented that from ever being successful by giving him no place to stay and no meds. So
So looking at the PSR, he does have a history of violence going back to 2003. Looks like we have an assault, family violence. They're guilty. He was revoked on probation, 2003. Some criminal mischiefs, resisting. Another assault, family violence. Looks like that one may have been dismissed. And then going up to 2004, resisting, evading. It's 2007. Yep, sure is.
These are two Mr.
Your
Court.
Honor, he was
Yeah.
convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2014.
We got TDC 2010, driving while intoxicated, third or more. He did 3 years TDC. So he's got enough of a history here that what I feel comfortable saying is that I'm not in agreement with the bond that he received at jail magistrate. But I understand what you're telling me about the circumstances under which he was released and kind of how that was a plan that did not work. So for now, I am going to deny your request to reduce bond, but here's what I need to reconsider that. I need a plan. So in other words, I need to see med compliance while he's been in custody. And so, you know, we're going to anticipate releasing him in a good state, probably the one that he was in when he was released last time, with an actual plan. I'm not comfortable with this idea that, you know, there was an agreement that he be transported to what was it?
The rescue mission. Judge.
Rescue mission, and then that is not confirmed. And really, that's what I assume what happened. He was released, had nowhere to go. He decompensated. He didn't have any meds, and lo and behold, we have another incident. That's not good enough. So if you're able to work on something with jail EHN, maybe for some type of placement, I don't know if they do that much, Mr. Shawala, but I need a better plan than what we have. That's really the basis for the denial at this time. I'm kind of understanding from you that he has no resources for the bond, or did you tell me something?
He might be able to post, he would certainly have no collateral. He does have some money due to an inheritance, but he has no property or anything of that nature. So probably, you know, 10,000 or less he could post the bond on. I don't think they require collateral at that level.
Did you tell me he has support here, family, anything
He
like that?
doesn't. His sister lives out of town. But I could, if you want to, I guess let me ask you this, Judge. Do you want to set it up for another hearing, or do you want me to just provide the court with that information once I put something together?
We will need another hearing. So I see that we have a judges conference coming up on June 4th. We're on track in terms of getting a jury trial. I'm a little concerned because he's got some prior pen trips, right? So, you know, I'm wondering if we're looking at a trial. In any event, look, just see what you can come up with a plan. You need another hearing. You want me to reevaluate it? I will. But I need to see those kind of boxes checked off, where he's going to live. I'm not sure. The complainant, I would imagine, is somewhere here, and there's going to be some real restrictions there, meaning I anticipate his bond conditions will include absolutely no contact with this person. So any reliance on that individual is not going to be useful here. So it's denied for now. Come back when we have a better plan. And let me ask, now that I've done that on the bond, Ms. Winery, is there a rec in this case?
For the criminal mischief?
No. For the 1382.
Not at this time, Your Honor. Let me double check.
There actually is, Judge. They've made a rec of 15 TDC. We will be declining that and proceeding to trial. We'll certainly see if there's anything to do there, but I think it's a good trial case for us, despite the exposure. But I will, Judge, I will get all that together, and maybe we can revisit it on the 4th if I have all that.
That's fine. Okay,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacob. Give me a call.
Okay. Who's next?
Judge.
Thank you,
Maybe
Mr.
to-
Versosa. You may. Have a good day. Um,
Annex, we have Ricardo Lizalde.
Yes, it's coming out.
Okay, Ms. Lerma, this is yours.
page 17, Ms. Lerma.
Hi, Judge.
Okay, calling cause number 2023-0D08342, State of Texas versus Ricardo Lizalde. May I have announcements, please?
Ada Winnery for the state of Texas, present, ready, Your Honor.
Veronica Teresa Lerma, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Lizalde, who is present before the court in the Zoom gallery. We are ready to proceed.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Lizalde is appearing from the jail annex remotely. We are scheduled for a bond hearing. I'm trying to see, I thought there was a reference to a previous bond hearing. Okay. All right, Ms. Lerma, you may proceed. His bond is 10,000.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lizalde is asking the court to consider reducing the bond as it is currently set. It is set at 9,000 cash surety, 1,000 PR. If he is released on bond, he would reside at 3836 John Henry, would live with his father, Ricardo Lizalde. Mr. Lizalde is single. He has no kids. He is a graduate of Mountwood High School and a United States citizen. He is indigent, Your Honor. He's unable to post bond as it is currently set. We did have a previous bond hearing where the court kept this bond hearing, this bond amount as it was set. But since that hearing, he has tried to gather the funds, but is without any resources to be able to do so. He would be most likely able to return back to his previous employment at Victor's Concrete, working as a cementer. And as far as I can tell, Judge, he doesn't have, he has family here in El Paso, and he's not a flight risk to this court. And we're asking the court to consider reducing his bond.
Ms. Lerma, I don't recall fully in terms of the PSR, the previous bond hearing, but I'm seeing that he's wanted out of Ector County, out of Odessa. And I know he had a DWI out of Odessa recently where he did some prison time. Do you know anything about the issues in Odessa?
I don't, Judge, and that would be a surprise to me because I don't have any information about that. I'll have to look into that.
You know, as part of the PSR, all it does is list a warrant on February 8th, 2024. And I had seen the entry of a probation revocation back in 2017. He got 4 years on that DWI third in Odessa. So I'm not sure because it doesn't give me more details in the PSR as to what that is. Okay. Ms. Winery?
Your Honor, with that would make this his 6th DWI. He has had legal issues for a while now, especially when it comes to when it comes to the community at large. He presents an extreme, if not inconvenience, an extreme danger. He's had 7 convictions for burglary of vehicle. He's had 6 convictions, this would be, if he's found guilty, this will be his 6th conviction for DWI. So just in the courts of community caretaking, the state feels that the bond is adequate and should not be reduced.
Is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
The request is respectfully denied. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Who's next?
Cool. Annex, can we get Vanessa Guerrero?
Coming
Mr.
out.
Vasquez, this is yours.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. Calling cause numbers 2024-0D02333 and 2024-0D02085. Each case style, the state of Texas versus Vanessa Leticia Guerrero. May I have announcements, please?
Ada Winnery for the state of Texas, present, ready, Your Honor.
And Joseph Vasquez representing Ms. Guerrero, and we're ready, Your Honor.
And Ms. Guerrero is appearing remotely from the jail annex. I have her bonds being 70,000 and 2333 and 100,000 and 2085. You may proceed, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, my client is born in El Paso, Texas. She resides at 132 Red Robin here in El Paso. That's a 79915 area code. She has 6 children. They are currently being cared for by their father and her mother. She has a 9th grade education at Del Valle High School. She has no GED. She, as far as employment, was a home health care provider. And she's been doing that for approximately 6 years. Judge, she has an extensive history with Emergence Healthcare, and she is currently receiving services from them. I know that her, I guess, assigned caseworker is Liz Meraz, and she's receiving her treatment from Dr. Medina. And I think this is the second time that we've had the hearing, Judge, and requested the bond reduction. I did speak with her mother, and she's working with Emergence to make sure that if Ms. Guerrero is able to get out of jail, that she will immediately report to Ms. Meraz and continue receiving services. I know that since she's been in jail, Judge, she was evaluated and has been receiving medications. And the mom tells me that from visiting with her, she has really stabilized from the date that she was arrested. And in talking with Ms. Guerrero, when I visited her at the jail, she understands the importance of taking her medications and working with Emergence to keep her stable. And we're just asking the court to grant the bond reduction. There's not a whole lot of money, Judge, so I understand there has to be a surety portion. I'd ask that that be as low as possible, and then the rest be PR with the strictest conditions. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Flannery?
Your Honor, I can appreciate the fact that she has mental health issues. I think the position of the state is that, she tried to run over police officers with her vehicle. So perhaps the place where her medication can be monitored to make sure that she's in compliance with it would be best. The state would oppose any bond reduction. Just the allegations are quite serious, and we believe that the bond is appropriate.
I'm understanding the mental health concern, Mr. Vasquez. I had that notated here. But I am also concerned with, I think these allegations come within about three or 4 months of one another, and not the best circumstances. The mental health component might be at the root of it, but I need a much more firm plan and secure plan before I will agree to reduce this bond. So for now, the request is denied. Again, if family is already receiving services from EHN, was she living with her mother when she was out on bond last time? So at the beginning of this year?
Judge, she was living with her mother, but right at the time of her arrest this last time, there was a falling out and she was not living at that residence.
So when the new offense happens, they're not on good terms, or she's not living with mom.
They were not on good terms, correct.
So we need to get a better plan than that, which includes obviously med compliance and some plan for her being out. Family is willing to take her in again if she's released or if she bonds out.
Mom is, yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty. I mean, I'll keep that in mind, but for now, it's not enough of a plan for me to release her considering the rearrest. Feel free to reapproach the court if you have more details. So the request is denied.
I will work with the Emergence and her mom and come back to the court, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. Who's next?
Downtown, that's all for you. Annex, we need Mr. Bosiaga.
That's
Lozano,
yeah, Garcia got the downtown, sir.
Okay, Borsiaga is downtown.
Yes.
And
Yes,
he needs the interpreter?
Yes, ma'am, we have one ready.
Your Honor, that completed the annex docket.
Oh, yeah, that's everybody?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
Annex, thank you very much.
Thank you. May we be excused?
You may have a good day. That was fast.
You guys are very fast, very efficient.
Thank you, Mr. Siwan. All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
let's get set up if we can get the interpretation function going. Miss Reyes, who are you here on?
Sorry, I'm trying to. Judge, no, I was here I was supposed to have a judges conference for Mr. Tito Contreras today, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I got stuck in a stiff
Oh,
down.
okay.
Judge.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a second. Sorry, I just didn't see you on my jail docket.
No, the court's mercy for being late, Judge, to my hearing.
Okay, mercy. Okay, let's get set up on the interpreter function, please.
We should be good to go, Judge.
Okay. Attorneys, if you would, yes. Yes, thank you, Mr. Cifuentes. Attorneys, if you would select English, and downtown if you'll select Spanish, we can get started.
Sí, señor. Enrique Burgos.
And Mr. Cifuentes, if I can get a thumbs up when you're ready. Yay, thank you. All right, I will call them. It looks like we have some name differences here. Let me go ahead and call them. Calling cause numbers 2016 0D03208 and 2016 0D04313. Mr. Mesa, in the 3208, I have his name as Enrique Burciaga Martín del Campo. And in 4313, I have him down as Enrique Martín del Campo. Do we know, is a Burciaga just an extra? What is his true name?
You know, Your Honor, he'll have to answer that because I was a little confused about that too. I have Burciaga and some, and I Martin del Campo and others.
Sir, what's your Mr. Well, I'll say Enrique, what is your true name?
Es Enrique Burciaga Martín del Campo.
Okay. Alrighty, in each of these cases, we are set for bond hearing and probation status hearing. Mr. Mesa, you may proceed.
Your Honor, in all honesty, we had requested the bond hearing prior to knowing that it was going to be treated as a pre-revocation hearing or a status, and that was the main issue. We kind of want to just get a rec. For purposes of background, we were just appointed, but I do know that he has two 2016 cases that have no bond set. Based on the review, he was placed on probation in 2016, and he was on probation until a motion to revoke was filed in August of 2017. There was a warrant that was issued, and then my client was picked up April of this year, and so there's quite a gap.
Correct.
And
He pled in October of 2016. He failed to ever report, through 2017, July 2017, filed the motion, and here we are. So I'm at 5 TDC.
Okay, Your Honor. Let me get with my client and see if there's any mitigating or character evidence that we can present. And I just asked for, I guess, a reset at this point.
Let me see if we have future settings. We do not, so we'll have his probation status hearings reset for 30 days. I'm at a firm 5 TDC, Mr. Mesa.
Okay, Your Honor. And as far as the bond, just for purposes of the record, you're denying our motion to place any bond.
Are you not waiving it? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Well, no, I mean, it's kind of, I think I know where this is going. However, if the court could consider a bond, I'm sure my client would appreciate that.
Okay, did you have anything for me to consider?
No, and no, I don't, because I just got appointed, and so I don't have any background information about him.
So if I'm not mistaken, he's on straight. With that, I'm gonna
Yes.
deny your request to set a bond.
Understood, Judge.
Okay, 30 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cifuentes.
I think that's
Downtown,
it.
thank you very much. All right.
I think that's everything, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. There's nobody else, right, Mr. Nunez?
No, ma'am. Nobody's waiting, and we got.
Oh, can we turn off the function, please? Because I can't hear.
Did you want to do with Miss
But Mr. Cifuentes, you're good to go.
Miss Reyes?
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Erica.
Oh, Miss Munari, let's do Miss Reyes before you leave.
We can go ahead and get off of YouTube as well.
Yes, ma'am.